Liverpool, summer 2001, and a rock and roll band is about to take to the stage at Lipa, the Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts. They're a local band formed in 1978 that have never strayed from their roots. It's said they could have been the biggest band in the world, but maybe being the biggest band in the world just wouldn't have been cool.
We were looking for a place where we never played in Liverpool, and that feels right that we're doing this. And it's a night out, you know. Kind of drop of seats with sponge in them. You know, it's good. It's got a little bit of class about it.
The name of this band is Echo and the Bunnymen.
Sweet. Tommy? Yeah. It's got to be done.
It's the 16th of August, and technical rehearsals are underway in the Sir Paul McCartney Auditorium at Lipa. The Institute is based at McCartney's old school, the Liverpool High School for Boys. It was reopened as Lipa in 1996 as a university for the arts and the entertainment industry. Echo and the Bunnymen are the first major band to use the so-called Paul McCartney Fame School for a rock concert.
We're here to record a live album and we wanted to do something special in Liverpool. Bunnymen are always renowned for sort of playing special, weirder type venues, and we come across this and it was perfect. So we decided to do 2 nights in. The facilities upstairs to record it as well. So that's what we're here for, really.
I'm not sure it's built for rock and roll. It's a converted school hall, and it's a historic building. But for this particular event, I think the Bunnymen they were familiar with the venue. They wanted something with a sense of theatre. This is not necessarily a completely straight rock and roll gig. I think with all their work, they have an amazing sense of drama in their music, and that's really why they chose such an out-of-the-way venue, in a sense. They wanted something that was different. It's an event rather than just a gig.
Paul McCartney gets a lot of jip for doing a lot of good things, you know. He's a cool bloke, and he was into a lot of the experimental side of the Beatles well before, anyone. He was there, he's a dude. And the fact that it's the Paul McCartney Auditorium, it's cool by me, It's just a dead groovy place.
I really like it. I mean, we wouldn't be playing it if we didn't like it. We were looking for a place where we never played in Liverpool, and that no one to my knowledge has played there of any kind of note, which is no offence, hopefully, to anyone who has played there of no note. It just seemed like a good place, and also it's got recording studios that we can just, I think there's tie lines that can run straight up to the studios, because we're going to do a live album from it. We're making a DVD, you're filming us. It seems to be a good little place to do.
Echo and the Bunnymen formed in 1978 from the ashes of a group called the Crucial Three. Members of the Crucial Three would shape the Liverpool sound that dominated the British rock scene in the early 80s and beyond. The group featured Julian Cope, later of the Teardrop Explodes, Pete Wiley, later of the Mighty War, and Ian McCulloch.
There was the Bunnymen, there was Wiley and the Icicle Works and all them. I don't know, but there was a sort of thing going on, wasn't there? But I was just a bit too young for it. They were a bit older than us, and we were kind of on the coattails, if anything of that. I think we were kind of making our own scene, which was more. It might have been a bit more retro, really, than that lot. But I remember McCulloch, tall fella, long coat, hair like a peacock,
The Bunnymen McCulloch, along with guitarist Will Sargent, bass player Les Pattinson, and a drum machine called Echo, were quick to grab the attention of the music press, and the band made their first ever TV appearance just months after forming.
So good night.
Sleep tight.
Whee!
Can you hear it? The sound of someone thinking, hearts beating on the merry-go-round tonight. The pictures on my wall.
When I was 13, I didn't know David Bowie got paid for doing it. And I just wanted to do it, you know, I didn't realise that you got money. I just thought people came, clapped and sodded off, and then you lived in a spaceship, you know, on another planet, and that was enough for me. And so that kind of career, that word's such a crap word, and, you know, that's no offence, but it's what kind of people with jobs do, you know.
I know Mac did, he always says this, like, you know, he wanted to be a singer from when he was 13 and he had Ziggy Starman on Top of the Pops or something. And it's like, it wasn't really like that with me. I was always into music, you know, even before then. And it was like, I suppose it was a dream that you know, I still can't sort of believe that I'm actually doing it half the time.
At first we were like all reluctant to, you know, leave our jobs because we didn't, it was pretty unsure, but from that point it was all, you know, upward journey type thing, you know, and we didn't look back.
You said people rolled on carpet, but I never thought they'd do those things.
A record deal came next, along with a human drummer, the distinctly unscoused Pete De Freitas. By the end of '79, the classic Bunnymen lineup was in place. After that came press adulation, elevation to the position of Britain's hippest band, and travels to strange countries and even stranger venues.
As I was joining the Lars and the Lars were coming through, I suppose the Bunnymen were the biggest thing ahead of us. Like, you know, they were the ones you wanted to kind of eclipse, or at least get on, not eclipse, but you wanted to, you know, they were the ones to aim for, let's, you know.
Everybody else seemed to be searching for the commercial single, maybe, that would get the deal, that would get the album, that would get the world fame. McCulloch, you were kind of got that feeling that it didn't really matter whether the rest of the world stepped in line with what he was doing. He was going to do it anyway.
All of the Liverpool bands put a lot of personality into the work, into the way they put it across, much more than the Manchester bands. And they're always fun for that. And the Bunnymen did that, but then beyond that, they had a depth beyond that. His lyrics were very funny, very good. He presented himself. He was daft, but something a bit better. Yeah.
Ian McCulloch went solo. The band soldiered on with a replacement singer. Then, all the Bunnymen, past and present, had to deal with the tragic death of drummer Pete De Freitas in a motorbike crash. Surely, that was the end of Echo and the Bunnymen. But McCulloch and guitarist Will came back together again as Electrifiction, before the three original members reformed as Echo and the Bunnymen. Then Les Pattinson left. Les has never picked up a bass guitar since quitting the band. He's now a tree surgeon in Southport.
I feel a bit old, and I've been out of it too long, you know. It's just, I think it's really weird. I think I've totally turned around, because I used to be totally optimistic, you know, and like with the band and everything, and like, you know, everything's going to happen, you know, stuff like that. Now I don't think I've become pessimistic, but I've just become like a realist, you know what I mean? I just think it's time to get a proper job and a proper income that's steady, you know, instead of hoping your next song is like winning the lottery, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a nice dream to have, but I think that's the way I am now. I still consider it, you know, my band. I mean, it's weird, you know, I know Will and Mac quite well, and they're still running it, and it is a bit weird talking to them about it, but I still feel like a member, you know.
23 years of fallouts and foul-ups, but now, even though they've never really been away, the Bunnymen have come home. Back at Lipa, rehearsals are now running about 4 hours behind schedule, and there's still no sign of the band's enigmatic lead singer Ian McCulloch, the man described by his own manager as a 24-hour-a-day rock star. Then, as if by magic, Mac appears.
We're a 70s band, steeped in CBGBs, kind of New York rock and roll, not pouncing around, waving flags and wearing cowboy hats, you know. We're well kind of taught in the lessons of what makes great rock and roll and what makes great bands by growing up with the Stooges and the Velvet Underground. And that's kind of the band, the type of band we are, I think.
After a trial separation, it appears the Bunnymen and the press have got back together again. With good reviews for their latest album and a box set of 20 years worth of recordings available, the plan with the gigs is to remind people that Echo and the Bunnymen are back. And they want that reminder to be delivered from the stage of the Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts. Bunnymen fans are nothing if not organised. Via the internet, they've arranged to meet at the famous Liverpool pub, The Crack. John Lennon used to drink there. Well, he nipped in for a cheeky half once. The fans have come from as far afield as Japan, the USA, and the Wirral.
I saw them on MTV, and I was totally blown away. I never saw anything like it before in my life.
It's the best comparison that Liverpool's got to the Beatles now, is the Bunnymen in Liverpool. Telling you.
It's the third time coming over here this year. My boss is very angry. I might be fired.
They're always worth it, because they're the best band on the planet ever.
The Killing Moon, which is like awesome, but Ocean Rain, it'll bring growing men to tears. I tell you.
Back at Lipa, the auditorium is ready. The Bunny fans who've managed to find their way out of the Crack are arriving. And backstage, the nerves are kicking in for the band.
Playing your hometown is always kind of... It's not tough, because it's always great, but the day, the build-up to it, I get nervous more in the sound check than the actual gig. Usually at Liverpool gigs, but when we go on stage, all the nerves have gone.
Then it's showtime, and the toughest test of all. A Liverpool band with a lot to prove in front of a hometown Liverpool audience.
You've got to grab their attention, so you throw in a few sort of rockers at the front, and then you can kind of drift down a bit and get a bit sort of into the kind of more atmospheric things. And then you need to end on a big, so it's sort of, it's a building thing, It starts off kind of up here, and it goes a bit like that, and then it goes right up here. And that's the idea, like, really. And then the encores, you come on and you sort of start off kind of up here again, go a bit like that, and then a bit like that.
I wanna kiss it, then I want it all. Won't you come on down tonight? Won't you come on down tonight? Rescue, rescue, rescue. Come on and rescue me.
The real key songs to our lifespan resonate now, like Rescue or Over the Wall. Cut or Killer Moon, you know, it's like they could have been written in 20 years' time, and that was what we always set out to do.
I forget just what I meant. Broke my neck, last street spare. It was my fall from grace. It was my total eclipse. I'm sorry, lips, and I'm sorry, grace. It's just the blues I'm singing. 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 Is this the blues I'm singing? 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 You bet. Thank you.
In the Lipa dressing room, manager Peasy finally gets to sit down after a nightmare last few days.
It's been crazy, it's been mad, but great at the same time. It's been really good. And, you know, that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? Yeah, sounding great. People like Ian, you know, he won't talk to you for a couple of days here because he's doing his thing, but after it, he'll say, nice one, and Will, and all the others as well, you know. But it's a big team effort, it's not one person, it's a massive team effort, and we're all part of the team. And, you know, it's just all about them going on and playing songs, really. We all love it, and that's the main thing. You know, we're all doing it together to make them sound like that.
Lips like sugar, sugar kisses. Lips like sugar, sugar kisses. Lips like sugar, sugar kisses. Lips like sugar, pretty sugar, sugar kisses.
It's been great. It's been a really good crowd. I think people are quite taken aback by the building. If they haven't been here before, it's a bit like, whoa, this is quite a venue. But yeah, it's great. Really good crowd. They have a great time.
Not too loud for it?
No, I love it. I think some of the staff are wearing earplugs in it's loud, but it's great. It's great.
It's gone so well. There's not even from the 2 days I've been here. There hasn't been an upset whatsoever. It's been frightening because it's been so good. Hard work, but been fantastic.
Never stop. Never stop. Never stop.
All you got to do is look back, or every decision we made was to avoid kind of become a Cuban ill div, you know. And I'd love to have 10 million quid in the bank, but I'd sooner have done it the way we did it than for all the money and tea in China, you know. Maybe we couldn't do it. We could have done, but it would have been fake, and that's the hardest thing in the world, you know. If you're born a fake, it's no problem, but to become one is really hard. That's probably why we're still, you know, still paying the rent.
The love you found must never stop. Never stop. Never stop. Stop. Never stop. stop, never stop, 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 never stop, 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 never stop, 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 never stop.
I thought it was a great little cool place to play, and I thought the gig was good, like, you know. I mean, Will's got some good riffs coming out, like, and you've got McCulloch, like, you know, like keeping the ciggies up. You know, crooning here, there and everywhere, like.
They're always worth watching because there's something charismatic about Mac. It's, you know, as simple as that.
The legacy would be big hair, cool music, and a survivor from that era of music that generated so many other talents that fell by the wayside.
The gig is done, the fans are happy, the Bunnymen appear to have pulled it off, and the Sir Paul McCartney Auditorium survived its first real encounter with rock and roll, with only a few scratches to show for it. So, what's next for Echo and the Bunnymen, and the Liverpool music scene they were instrumental in kick-starting into life?
Scenes don't live in a building. You've got, if you want to find a scene in Liverpool, you've got to live here for 10 years and then you become part of it, and it's an intangible thing. It's up there on the Liver buildings, you know, and it's on the ferry, and it's at Anfield and Goodison. That's where the scene is. It doesn't live in an house.
So I want more than I can get. Just trying to forget. Nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing ever lasts forever.
Hey, turn the camera off.